I was out the other day walking and came across a beautiful rock, and it got me kind of thinking about midlife. And I know that that seems a little bit like a strange thing to look at and then think about midlife, but many of us have been like a rock. We're strong, we're steady, always holding things together for everyone in our lives, right? And if that is you, you might also somewhere deep inside quietly be questioning, when is it going to be my turn to shine? And that is a legitimate question, and many of us do feel it. But truthfully, midlife season, it's about remembering that you were made for so much more. You were made to shine and reflect God's glory like a diamond. So if you have been feeling like you're always holding it together, but not really shining, stick with me to the end because you're going to know exactly what it means to stop living like a rock and start showing up like the diamond you were created to be. And if this is the first time that you are joining us, welcome. I'm Michelle Rose. I'm a health and beauty strategist for Christian midlife women who have looked in the mirror and just kind of wondered, where did she go? Right. And so I'm here to remind you that you're still here. And in this season, it's not about fading. It's about rising up, right? It's your time to feel beautiful again in body, soul, and spirit. And when we're done, please be sure to go grab the free worksheet that I create for every episode. You'll find it in the Facebook group. And this will help you go deeper on this topic. So as we dive in, just take a minute to ask yourself, like, have I been holding it all together so long that I have forgotten to shine? So wherever you're listening or watching from, let that question sit with you for just a minute. And if that is you and you're here live, put a one in the chat. I'd love to know. But I came across that rock, right? Just an ordinary rock. And of course, my brain went straight to science. You guys know I love a good science metaphor, but stay with me because this one might actually be the very thing that's going to help you see your entire midlife season in a completely different way. See, rocks are made from minerals, right? They're made from sediment, layers of material packed together by time. They've been shaped by wind, water, erosion, all those things, right? And that can be equated to like the regular grind of life. And in their own way, they're beautiful. I can't help myself to enjoy a good little rock and put it in the palm of my hand. But they're also very common. They're grounded. They're heavy sometimes, right? They sit right where they fall. And I know that that can sound very similar to how we are currently living our lives. That's how so many women that I talk to do describe their midlife season. And so after years and maybe even decades, of holding all those things together, they can feel like a rock, worn down, pushed into a role that they might not want to be, maybe feeling present but overlooked, right? And so, words that are commonly used to describe these type of women like you are strong, reliable, right? Everyone can lean on you. But when you look in the mirror, you might sit there and wonder like, is this all I am? Right? And the hard truth is sometimes we settle into being that rock because it's safe, it's familiar, right? And we get a lot done. And that can feel great and significant. But you weren't created just to exist. You were made to be able to shine. So don't stay buried, right? And diamonds, they start out looking just like rocks, okay? There's no sparkle, no clarity. Um, you wouldn't even know their value if you came across one, right? But here's the difference. Diamonds are made from the same basic stuff, right? But they've been through heat. They've been through pressure. They're buried deep beneath the surface of the earth. And it's that refining deep beneath the surface that makes them into what they are. And so even after all of that, they still need to be cut, not to hurt them, but to reveal the brilliance that they have inside, right? So midlife, where it might feel like erosion, what if it's actually your excavation, right? What if this season isn't about losing your sparkle, but about uncovering and revealing the woman God already placed inside of you. And so a rock, it's safe, it's hidden, but a diamond, it gets positioned and set apart. And that's what I believe God wants to do with your life, not to bury you, but to reveal you, right? The difference isn't in your value, it's in how you're handled, right? And the best part, God's not finished handling you yet, right? So let me just ask you this. Are you ready for God to reveal your brilliance? Put a two in the chat if you're here live. And sometimes we can honestly say, I'm not ready, and that's okay. But let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit closer to home. So if you have been feeling like you're stuck and you're living like a rock, you're steady, reliable, always doing what needs to be done, Midlife has a way of making you feel useful, right? In all that busyness, but invisible. Okay, so everyone, they're going to depend on you. No one's really sitting there asking you what you need so they can take care of you, right? And you've done the work. You've raised your kids in this season. You've built your life. You've showed up in all the hard seasons. And somewhere along the way, your identity gets buried under all those roles that you've played. And you look around and you may even be thinking thoughts like, I should feel more grateful. Like I actually kind of have a good life, or so I have a good life, but why do I feel like something's still missing? Or is it too late to become the woman that I thought I would be by now? Right. And those are really great questions. And so if you are the main character in a movie, like right now, this would be that scene where the main character, she pauses, maybe dramatically looks out the window, right? And it feels like she's breaking inside, right? It's not that dramatic ending though that we think that it is when we feel this way. It's that sacred moment that happens right before everything shifts in the plot of the movie. Okay. Because in every great story, that main character hits that low point right before their breakthrough, right? Right before they get that clarity. And the moment where she finally stops shrinking and starts showing up, that's the part we're all waiting for when we're watching your life right now. That might be you, right? And I want to remind you, it's not the end of your story. It's you standing at the edge of the very best part of your life. And like a diamond, you've been under the pressure, that real pressure. Life hasn't been easy, but maybe you have felt stretched, right? Cracked open, asked to release things that you might um, not want to crack open and reveal to the world, right? Things that you've been carrying around with you for a while. And just like a diamond, even after all that forming, there still has to be a cutting open, a cracking open. Those seasons, it may feel like something is being taken away, but really God is shaping you to reflect His light more clearly. You're not being set aside, you're being set in place, right? Positioned, elevated, graduated, right? Prepared for something new. And I know it can feel like you've missed your moment. I have been there, and some days I still feel like I'm there, right? But it's really important for all of us to know we're right on time for what God is about to do next, right? So instead of asking, is it too late? Maybe the better question is, what is God preparing me for where I can shine for Him next? Right? So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, Michelle, like you've got my attention, I want to live my life like a diamond. Um, go grab the worksheet I put together for you in the Facebook group. It's waiting there for you because it walks you through all of the steps that I'm about to share with you so that you can start living like a diamond in your everyday life. And while you're in there, reach out to everyone, ask questions, post a prayer request, like whatever you need, that space is there for you. And I can't wait to see you in there. Okay. So now that we've unpacked the difference between a rock and a diamond and how this all connects to your midlife journey, you may be wondering, like, okay, how do I actually do this? And so I have three powerful shifts that will help you stop settling for staying buried and start living like the woman God designed you to be. All right. So shift number one, polish your perspective. Okay. Diamonds don't just get to shine unless they're cut and polished, right? So that starts with how you see yourself. You have to look at yourself in a new way. And so, what words are you using to describe yourself lately? Right? Are you saying things like, I'm too old? I missed my moment. I don't have anything to offer this world, right? Or do you have good things to say about yourself? So, what you need to do is you need to begin by speaking life, right? Speaking light over yourself. So, maybe ask yourself, like, am I speaking to myself like someone who reflects God's glory or someone who's just surviving? You reflect what you believe. So, start polishing your mindset and speak like a woman who was made to shine. Okay, shift number two, position yourself for purpose, right? A diamond isn't random. It's set in place, like it's positioned, it's framed to reflect the light. So ask yourself, like, where have I stopped showing up, living with intention? Okay. Maybe you've pulled back from your community. Maybe you have stopped dreaming, or stopped creating, stopped stepping out in faith, whatever it is time to reposition yourself, right? Step into rooms where your light matters and needs to be seen, right? Re-engage with that project, that calling, that thing that God has just whispered to you over the years, right? That happened to me this year. He told me to speak, so I started writing. It's a little bit scary, but it's great because I did the thing to position myself to be in the light so that I could reflect his light. So this positioning, it's about aligning with him, aligning with what he has called you to do. All right. So go get out there where the light can hit you. Okay. Shift number three, protect the value. Diamonds are valuable. They also are common, but they're valuable, right? And valuable things are protected. So you don't just toss a diamond in your junk drawer, right? You guard it, you keep it in a place of honor. And that's the same with you. Things you value, you're going to take care of. So that means protecting your time, guarding your peace, right? Drinking water, getting enough sleep, feeding your body with food that gives it life instead of just getting you by on fumes, right? So taking care of yourself, it's not going to be selfish. It actually is stewardship of the thing that the Lord values. So protecting value means honoring the woman God made you to be, body, soul, and spirit. Okay. And because just like a diamond, you weren't meant to be everything to everyone. You were meant to reflect the brilliance of the one who formed you. I mean, think about that, right? And I'd love to know, now that you've heard these three shifts, like which one do you feel like God is highlighting for you right now? Right? Is it time to polish your perspective and work on your mindset? Or do you need to reposition yourself for purpose and dust off those dreams? Or maybe this is your moment to start protecting your value in a new way, right? Take a second to just reflect on that. And if you're watching somewhere that you can comment, I'd love to hear which one is speaking to you. So thanks so much for spending your time with me today. Like, and listen, if you're still in that diamond in the rough kind of place, like that is okay. You don't have to feel shiny to start walking like someone who's being refined, right? Sometimes it's all in the showing up day by day, and that's where God gets to do his deepest work. All right. So if you want to go deeper or talk through where you're at, just send me an email, right? And we can set up a session. I'd love to walk this through with you. And so next week, we're talking about something really fun and it's so needed. It's all about the full makeover, right? It's the perfect thing to tag on to today's message. We're going to cover face, body, style, mindset, right? Because reflecting confidence on the outside matters too. So after all, you are a diamond. So let's get her ready out there and shining.